What's going on, everyone? So it is time to say goodbye to the egg celebration event. For those of you that are still participating, you have some time to exchange all your rewards if you have not already. But we've got a brand new full moon, or the Moon Cake Carnival more specifically, event going on. And this one actually is a little bit different than the events we've had in the past. It's not as straightforward at first glance. So I want to kind of dive into it, help you maximize your rewards, at least in terms of my first impressions, as I've been kind of experimenting with it in the first hour here with some of my gems. So first off, daily sign in, free rewards, cool. These little osmanthus, I don't think that's how you say it, is how you actually progress the Mooncake Carnival. So pretty nice there. We have the full moon celebration. This is basically the pay to win aspect of the event. You can get access to, potentially, if you do draw and you do get the ultimate prize, you can get access to the redeem shop, where we do have the new artifact in here, which looks pretty solid for your Reaper Staff users or the Nasir Scepter users. Otherwise, just a couple of different, again, artifacts as well as unique mounts in here. There isn't really a recurable way to acquire a lot of these lantern coins. As I said, you can purchase some with gems, and then mainly you can purchase them with cash. So I'm not really going to be focusing on that all that much. We have the golden osmanthus fragrance. This is another place where you can get a few coins, the lantern coins. I would recommend using them all. As far as we can see here, as you can see, all are going to be converted to gold coins. So you do really want to try and go ahead and use all your coins beforehand, as it's just going to be a few extra rewards. I'm not really expecting to get anything out of this. It's just going to be some extra eggs, some gems, etc., etc., etc. You're not going to get to the ultimate prize whatsoever. I'd be surprised, even, as you can see from the gift pack, even if you're spending gems, if you can even get I don't even think it's possible to get to the legendary keys, huh? So because every 2 you get one of these coins, so you get, well, I guess at the end you get ×2. So you're getting what, roughly like, I don't know, 20, like 30 or so. So yeah, you could potentially get to the legendary keys. Is that worth the 10,000 gems? Probably. I would recommend, if you can, pick up the legendary keys. Yeah, spend the gems, get the legendary keys. 10,000 gems for 10 legendary keys is a very good deal. Very good deal. That said, the Mooncake Carnival is where a lot of the confusion happens. So there's a big board here, and this is not what it normally looks like, but I was testing around with these magnifying glasses. The first thing I'll just jump into is this little, question mark here at the top. Basically, the way this works is, and honestly, there's a lot of text here, but if you're ever curious, there's going to be a ton of different stats and a ton of different guides here that you can read through yourself. But basically, when you start a board, there's going to be one spot that you can click on and a bunch of locked ones. Now, as of right now, I used magnifying glass and a bunch of the board is revealed. So I'm actually going to continue onwards, but the whole goal, and I'll show you a new board here, is to find these little lotus petals, and there's a bunch of random little snippets on the board that can give you a bunch of board progression as you go along, which I just clicked on. So this is what a new board rather, looks like. It's going to be a bunch of lock tiles. I can't click on any of the lock tiles, but I can click on the little, I don't even know what you call these, but the little icons here, depending on what it is. I think these are like blossoms, like dark chocolate or something. Anyways, you can click on them to expand the surrounding tiles. So for example, if I hit these corners, I'm going to reveal all 5 of the corner tiles, and I can kind of continue onwards. The goal here is to find those lotus petals, so that you can go into the next board, because at the top, based on how many lotus petals you find, you're going to be able to continue onwards to get more and more better rewards. Now, at really the 320, when you get the random hero box, you're going to get something nice there. There's Everstones here, and as you go onwards, there's going to be more and more better rewards, but don't expect to really get too far into this. I'm really just looking for maybe some keys, some gem keys, and some legendary keys are going to be the nice upgrades, or nice resources to acquire. Outside of these 4 icons right here, and if you hit the exchange, I can find out the exact name of these. So we have the dark chocolate mooncake, we have the matcha mooncake, the sakura mooncake, and then the jujube flower mooncake. So those 4 mooncakes are the ones you click on to expand the surrounding tiles. But there's going to be these kind of random icons. Like for this one, the little, I don't know what you call this, the spinner, I've been calling it because it spins. Depending on the color of it, we'll go ahead and actually unlock every single of that color in the surrounding tiles, as far as I understand. And then as I continue onwards, you just kind of want to click on those because it's going to give you a bunch of the resources. And these are the actual resources you're going to use to get the exchanging for rewards. As you reveal more and more tiles, you'll start to reveal potentially resources. Like, for example, this is an Everstone. If I get this, I'm going to actually get an Everstone. There are also like gems and legendary keys and all that type of stuff on the board. And here we've actually found our Lotus Petal. So you're just going to go ahead and claim that. And well, it's going to reveal the rest of the board, but then actually progress to the next board. As you go along, you can actually unlock magnifying glasses. These will unlock the full tile for you immediately. Now, before you just click the Lotus Petal and move on, I would definitely recommend clicking on all the unique icons. This fence right here, nice. Gonna grab that. This bomb is gonna go ahead and basically blow up all the other surrounding tiles. As I said, little spinner is gonna acquire all the green little, or whatever color it is, moon cakes on the board. And then the Lotus Petal you'll click on into moving to the next round. The reason why I say you're going to want to acquire all those resources, and I'll use another magnifying glass to see if I can find something that we hadn't found. Okay, here's a great example. This is one that's going to go up and down the board and give you everything in a row. So I would definitely, go for those ones. Here's going to give me all the white moon cakes on the board. And the reason why I say you're going to want to actually click on all of those is because if you look at the exchange shop, the cakes that you're clicking on are the actual resources that you'll use to exchange in the shop. So you want as many as possible. Honestly, getting the Lotus Petal is kind of the least of your concerns. Now, I would definitely recommend, as you're going along, when you find the Lotus Petal, to just acquire it, right? Because it's not really going to be any more or less valuable generally on a board than, just continuing your board. And another thing to know is you're going to want to focus on the corner mooncakes. I know that in some cases you're going to want to click on a specific mooncake, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But the reason why you're going to want to go for the corner mooncakes is because generally they're going to expand the most tiles possible. So in this case, I can click on the corner, but I'm actually going to click on this little arrow one because it's going to reveal the entire row for me. And then here I have a couple options. I can click this one, which will reveal 2 tiles. This one, which will reveal 3 tiles. But I can click on this matcha mooncake to reveal 4 tiles around me. So yes, I'm going to want to click on the tiles that are going to expand the most visibility for me. And obviously, gem keys worth it. The actual osmanthus, if you see an icon like that, it's just going to give you 3 of them, so that's worth it as well. So for example, here, again, I can reveal 5 tiles. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing again. Basically, just go through and reveal as many tiles as possible in each click. Is kind of how I'm viewing it. Now, I don't know if there's a specific, someone's done the math on this, but basically you're just going to reveal as many tiles as possible in every click so that you can see if there's any unique arrows or unique spinners that are going to give you more mooncakes in a single click, or the more osmanthus revealed so you can get more clicks, more flips, or whatever they're called. I'm not great on the terminology here because I haven't remembered all of it. I just know how this has actually just been playing out for me as I've gone along. But that's pretty much it. Now, there's another portion to this, which I think is really important. You're going to be flipping tiles, yes, and you're going to want to flip as many tiles as you possibly can in a single go around. Now, you can purchase a lot of these, as you can see. You can purchase a total of 700, so it's going to be a ton of gems, like 90k or something like that. Well, actually, we'll find out here. Yeah, it's going to be like 110,000 or so gems that you could spend on this for a ton of unlocks. But if you look at the exchange shop, each individual mooncake is going to have its own individual shop. So there are going to be times when maybe you click on a different mooncake in the latter parts of your, tile flipping, because you don't have a ton of, let's say, Sakura mooncakes or whatever, because you want a specific reward in there. Now I'm going to go through each of these shops and let you know which ones I would definitely recommend, kind of looking out for. There is a conversion. You can convert 5 mooncakes to 4 mooncakes, and this is across all shops. So if you have a ton of dark chocolate mooncakes, you can go and convert them to the Sakura mooncakes at a 5-to-4 ratio, which isn't great, assuming you can actually just acquire those mooncakes and focus those instead. In the dark chocolate mooncake, really this is, in my opinion, one of the weaker shops. You do have access to the new homestead coins. You do have access to the S-rank gear and weapon selection box, which are going to be the 2 priorities in my opinion. There is going to be the mount cores. This one I've always found to be a little lackluster. I'm not a huge fan of the cores. If you do need a little bit of extra upgrades, it's going to be kind of nice for that, the min-maxing portion of the game. But if you're looking for the biggest bang for your buck in terms of progression, it's generally going to be the weapon and gearboxes. The artifact hammers or the hammers here are going to be kind of the second choice that I would be going for. In the matcha shop, this one is a little bit better. You have the selectable brands. You also have an S Epic Legacy box, which is always going to be something that I'm going to be looking for. Then you also have a random insignia box. You have the magnifying glasses and gem keys. Again, if you compare this to the dark chocolate shop, there is so much more in the matcha shop that I'm looking for. I want all of these gem keys. I want I want the S Epic Legacy box, and I may even want a limited brand depending on my build, right? So guaranteed, I'm going to go for the S Epic Legacy box, and I'm definitely going to be going for the gem keys. So those are the two that I immediately want. There is a consideration to go for the magnifying glass. If you think about kind of what the magnifying glass does, right? I'm going to reveal the entire board. So essentially, in this spot, right, the bomb is going to just explode everything around me. Great. And it give me all of those mooncakes, which is great. The sign will reveal the flip tile, so I'm not actually going to click on that one. But the spinner is going to give me the rest of the mooncakes. It kind of converts, right? Each magnifying glass is going to help you progress the top bar, but then I'm probably going to recoup. If you look here, I made what? Was that 2 clicks? And I've gotten, let's see, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I've gotten 17 cakes back. Now, if you think about that, this is potentially worthwhile if you have too many matcha cakes. So if you have too many matcha cakes, I would definitely consider going for the magnifying glass, because it's probably going to divide up your matcha mooncakes into the other shops more evenly than if you were to just do the conversion and at a better rate, right? So that's something to consider, but I would definitely not necessarily recommend unless you're close to a reward at the top, or if you're looking to exchange over. I would just focus on, getting the rewards in here after the gem keys and the S Epic Legacy box. Like I said, if you need the limited brands, the top part is again more mount cores, which I'm not a huge fan of. The pet eggs are a pretty mediocre deal, so I would try to probably just convert over to another shop if you need it. Otherwise, again, the focus should be gem keys, limited brands, and the S Epic Legacy, and then after which convert. And if you have already finished with all that, potentially the magnifying glasses, if you need it. Next up in the Sakura shop, this is a skin shop. So this is something that's kind of cool if anyone's looking for, specific skins. These do give you your fashion score a bonus, which is kind of nice. There's some artifact cores, but really Epic Legacy box, inheritance books, number 1 and number 2, and then you also have legendary keys and the advanced alchemy regions. This is a stacked shop. I'm probably going to want a ton of Sakura cakes because I want the S Epic Legacy box. I want all 10 of the inheritance books. I want advanced alchemy regions, which are really, really strong, and the legendary keys. Huge shop. After which the mount horseshoes are always good, but to be honest with these Sakura cakes, you're probably going to be converting to the Sakura shop, most likely. Again, if you compare for like dark chocolate, I'm looking at, okay, let's say I want these 2 boxes. That's 440 dark chocolates. For the matcha shop, if I'm getting the S Epic Legacy box, that's 200 plus the gem keys, that's 60, so 260. And then if I'm getting a limited brand, that's another 260, so that's already more than the dark chocolate, so that's 520. In the Sakura shop, I'm gonna need S Epic Legacy box, which is 90 plus 500 of inheritance books, so it's 590 plus 60, that's 650 Sakura cakes, plus 20 times actually this is more, this is 120, sorry, I did the math wrong. That's 120 what's it called, because I was looking at this is 6 times 12, but that's 120 Sakura cake, so way more. And then there's the Jujube flower shop, which has a bunch of limited selectable collectibles. There's the random hero box, there's the synergy blessing scroll, which I do like, the swap ticket, and the wishing scroll, and the elite pack. So elite packs, wishing scrolls, and the blessing synergy scroll those are the priorities, after which again Everstones are okay. The limited collectibles are okay. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of limited collectibles. They're not huge bonuses in general. So I would focus more on the synergy scroll, wishing scroll, elite packs and then Everstone, and then convert or try to go for potentially one of the boxes, one of the limited collectibles, if you can kind of game it out. I would definitely recommend not spending any of your mooncakes until the end of all the event because of the conversion rate, right? With that said, that's pretty much the entirety of the event. It's kind of a little bit more complicated than a lot of the other events that we've seen, but the rewards seem pretty good. Is it worth spending your gems? I don't know, really. I would suggest, again, going through the entire event before you spend a bunch of gems, because there may be a situation where you've gotten everything out of what shops you really want to go for, so you don't actually have to go and get more of the osmanthus flowers to spend on tiles. Let me know what you think about the event in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all for the next one.